life changed forever. Life has changed for all of us during the pandemic, and many people are turning to alcohol and drugs to cope. Even though most of us are staying home more, police across Ontario are seeing an alarming increase in impaired driving and the horrible devastation that goes with it. Now, more than ever, we need your commitment to never drive impaired and to encourage all of your family and friends to do the same. Together, we can save lives.
Ever wonder what to do with these guys? Well, if you're a professional bartender, you probably do. Hi, I'm Brian O'Connell. This fall on Rogers TV, we introduce you to Backyard Bartenders, where we bring in professional and amateur bartenders to make some wonderful drinks to bring your bartending abilities to the next level. Join me for Backyard Bartender this season on Rogers TV, and you'll find out exactly what to do with these guys.
This is Rogers TV.
Interest payments were going up, creditors were calling. I finally realized I needed help. The people at Janes & Nosworthy really took care of me, and I'm glad I chose a local solution. I felt like they understood me better. Getting help with my debt has given me the energy, the headspace, and the time to make my dreams come true. A chance to start again with knowledge, support, and people in your corner. Are you looking for that kind of help? It's okay.
Learn more about Leah's story at janesnosworthy.ca.
It was our 35th anniversary. To celebrate, we were on our way to Mama Rosie's, where we had our first date. That's when we heard coming from the radio. So we stopped and listened. It helped us get to safety. So when I think of our anniversary, because now we have even more to celebrate.
And welcome to Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Lynn Hammond. We have a busy show tonight. First, Atlantic Regional President of Rogers, Matt MacLellan, will be here. He'll be joined by John Abbott and Tom Osborne, St. John's ministers and MHAs, who will also assist in the presentation of Ted Rogers grants for several organizations in our community. Next, we'll have Celina Stoyles with Kids Eat Smart. And finally, a video by Shallaway, local musical group, who are joined by Alan Doyle. Join us for all of that after these messages.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us or send us your feedback through social media.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
To the workshop. I'm feeling a little winter wonderland. Happy holidays, guys. Come on. Buddy, you're on the naughty list, sorry. Feel the burn. How we doing? Holly, jolly, and tired. It's a Christmas miracle. There's just something magical about this. Ho, ho, ho.
For the first time ever, Buddy vs. Duff Holiday. New series Sunday at 8 on Food Network.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
And we're back with Matt MacLellan, President of the Atlantic Region with Rogers. Thanks for joining us today, Matt.
Thanks for having me, Lynn.
Of course, we're having some fun here today. We have community organizations collecting there outside the studio. Today is all about the Ted Rogers Community Grants Program. So tell us about it.
Thanks, Lynn. At Rogers, we use Ted Rogers Community Grants to help support youth through education and other support mechanisms in their communities. It's really important for us at Rogers to give back to the communities where we live and work. And so what the Ted Rogers Community Grants enable is youth to be supported through programs through our communities. And so across Newfoundland and Labrador, we're supporting a number of programs that help youth across the island and in Labrador to be able to reach their full potential through that support.
And they're really looking at the list, there's a lot of really different types of programs. So it's not all just sports, or it's not all, intellectual work. It's kind of that broad spectrum. So it's really going to reach, kids throughout the province.
That's exactly right.
And so the organizations, we have several here today, but this is certainly not new. How many, what kind of funding has been donated over the years?
So the program started in 2017,
okay.
And in Atlantic Canada, since that time, we've supported about 30 programs with about $700,000 in funding.
Wow.
And in Newfoundland and Labrador, it's been 16 programs with $135,000 of funding over that time.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I know we have a lot of people outside who are excited to meet you today, so thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back after this.
It all started when I racked up some serious debt. Interest payments were going up, creditors were calling. Janes and Noseworthy came up with a plan. Knowing that the phone was going to stop ringing and that I was not in this alone was a huge relief. Bankruptcy or a consumer proposal or whatever help you get is not the end. It's just the beginning. A chance to start again with knowledge and support and people in your corner. Are you ready? Get out of debt. It's okay.
Learn more about Leah's story at janesnoseworthy.ca.
It was my daughter's birthday. She was blowing out the candles on her cake when we heard coming from the TV. So we stopped and listened, and it helped us get to safety. That's why when I think of my daughter's birthday, because now she gets to keep having them.
And next, recipients of the Ted Rogers Grants Program.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. First of all, thank you to Rogers. This is a phenomenal program, and I'm delighted to see Thrive be awarded with the check and the grant from Rogers. They're a fantastic organization. The community outreach to vulnerable people, fighting sexual exploitation, providing services and products that individuals need. Volunteerism is important to the province. Without volunteerism, so many of the services that people rely on, they just wouldn't get. Government relies on volunteers, and organizations like Thrive, they're a great government partner. The funding that government provide them, they take it so much further and able to do so much more with that than government could do with the same amount of funding. So it is a fantastic partnership.
Rogers has been an amazing support to Thrive, and particularly our education programs, and they've been such an ally to our organization. We're delighted to be here today. Corporate sponsors and community support is so critical to making sure we're able to help people every day.
One of my responsibilities is as Minister for the Community Sector here in the province, and we work with a lot of youth-serving agencies, and the fact that they're being recognized today is a tribute to both Sue Rogers and to the hard work these three agencies have done for the community over the past number of years. The collaborations are essential for all community agencies, youth, seniors, and anything else. And certainly through the pandemic, we realized that in spades. And the work I did in the community has helped me now in my new role as Minister responsible for the community sector. And recognizing these three youth-serving agencies today is a great tribute to the hard work that they've done and the volunteers that support them and the community at large and the business community that supports them as well.
We're quite delighted to receive support from Rogers for the work of Junior Achievement of Newfoundland and Labrador. It will certainly help us in achieving our mission of educating young people on entrepreneurship, financial understanding, and workforce learning. And we believe that providing education on these topics is critically important for not only for the young people, but for the province and our economy. You look today and you see what's happening in the sector around technology as an example. And so if we can start and work with young people in the school system and provide education and learning opportunities that will, spark their entrepreneurial spirit, well, they will be the next generation of entrepreneurs. And then if you look at providing education on financial understanding, If you can start with grade 3s and then have another JA touch point at grade 6 and then another at grade 9, we will, develop financially savvy young people who will make good, sound decisions.
Allied Youth is a provincial youth leadership program. We help youth all around the province volunteer in their communities, develop their own leadership abilities, and it offers a great program for youth ages 12 to 18 in a lot of rural communities who don't have the same opportunities as those people in St. John's. We have numerous groups around the province, so we've got a couple on the Avalon Peninsula, one out in Central, and one down on the Bjorn Peninsula. So these different groups, you just kind of start showing up to meetings, and then you can learn about all the different things that we do. We have many education sessions about issues facing youth today. We get to meet new people. And then we also meet a couple times a year, like provincially, and you get to network with a bunch of different youth from around the province who have similar interests as you. But if people are interested in starting posts, more often than not, you need an adult in a school or a community, and they get into contact with us, and then we'll give them a bit of information, and then you just kind of get the ball rolling.
Well, Joseph Youth is an agency that's been operating in the St. John's metro area for the last 30 years. Primarily in today's world, we operate to provide safe, stable, affordable housing for young people. And then what does that mean? What allows any of us to have happy, functional, healthy lives? Well, we need access to employment, access to education, and all the other bits and pieces of our lives to make, again, healthy futures for our young people. Well, like many organizations in our province, certainly in our country these days, we get a lot of support from, all levels of government. But other donations certainly are growing, and it's a testament to the province that I'm very proud to live in, that there's a very giving corporate and community around us as well. So what it means is allows us to provide, fill some gaps, create innovative opportunities to explore other ways to support young people in a way that's really going to allow them to succeed in the way that we would want any of our kids to succeed.
Community Centre Alliance, for people who are not aware, is a collaboration of 5 community centres in the city. So there's Buckmaster Circle, Froude Avenue, McMorran, Rabbittown, and Virginia Park community centres. And CCA goes into these centres that are based in social housing neighbourhoods, and we help people remove barriers, mainly around employment and education is kind of what CCA focuses on. Of course, during the pandemic, we did a lot of work around food security as well. But we're so happy to be here today and chat to you about the Rogers Grant. It's really, really a great gift to have. Yeah, corporate support is really important because we get, regular funding from, bigger sources like government, but the grants that we get through corporate donations or corporate grants allow us to do extras. And of course, there's been nothing normal in the last year and a half. So we've had lots of little barriers that pop up that we wouldn't necessarily have any resources to help us remove. So we're really excited when we get money, especially right now with the Ted Rogers grant. We have youth who have been really challenged academically because of the online learning and then back to school under different protocols and being away from school because of those protocols sometimes. And it's been a really, it's been a really challenging time for all of us, but our youth, they have additional barriers that sometimes they don't even recognize their own selves. So when we get additional funding like that, we see something rise up, whether it's extra tutoring that's needed or extra supplies, maybe some software that they could use on their computers that will help them with the online learning. All those things are just beautiful gifts to have that we normally couldn't count on. So we are super appreciative when we get that opportunity.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us or send us your feedback through social media.
And we're back with Celina Stoyles of Kids Eat Smart. So glad to have you here today.
It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting us in.
And of course, I've had you on the show before. You were here last year. But Kids Eat Smart is such an important organization in the schools of our province. So for those at home who are not familiar, what is Kids Eat Smart?
So we are Kids Eat Smart. We're known as the breakfast clubs in Newfoundland and Labrador. Every school day, we're serving over 31,000 meals to school-age children at no cost to families. We have 267 Kids Eat Smart clubs in Newfoundland and Labrador. Incredible. And last year, we served over 5.4 million meals. So a lot of people are like, that's a lot of meals. And we always say there's many reasons why children come to school hungry. There's long bus rides, there's busy households. Sometimes we have lots of children and youth that don't feel like eating first thing in the morning. Sadly, we do have children that do not have food in their home. And I will share with you this stat. The stats are out and they're saying 1 in 3 children in Canada come to school hungry. We're no different here in Newfoundland and Labrador.
And so why does that matter? When a school, I mean, I think, I know, but when a child comes to school and is hungry, hasn't had any sort of, nutritious start, how does that impact the child?
We all know that if breakfast is the most important meal of the day. We've heard that, we grew up with that. And of course, our principals tell us that when children come to school and have breakfast, they're less attentive, they're more attentive, they're less disruptive. It changes the whole environment of the school. They actually say the academic outcome is even higher. And in some schools, when breakfast is served, the attendance goes up. So when you talk about the impact, eating nutritious food at the beginning of the school day to fuel them mentally and physically, that's why breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
And I remember when my kids were, particularly when they were in elementary, they attended Hazelwood. And, there was an excellent breakfast program. And I remember my son asking me one day, he said, "But do I get to go?" And I said, "Oh, yes. Everybody gets to go to the breakfast program." And that's a key piece, when everyone can participate, there's no stigma for those children who have to participate for financial reasons.
You're absolutely right. And that is a great point. There are many people who think, oh, the breakfast club may just be for the children who truly need it. We provide breakfast to every child and youth who comes to school hungry for whatever reason, and that truly does protect the vulnerable. There are a lot of children in our province who are living in food insecure homes, and what that means is that there's no food in their house, or at the end of the month, when they're trying to pay all the other bills, food is the last thing they buy. You and I know if the pandemic has brought one thing to the forefront, families are struggling, and we have children coming to school hungry. So our goal is to ensure that every child and youth, for whatever reason, comes to school and has breakfast.
And you also support a couple dozen community centers, is that correct?
We do, we do. So in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have 22 community centers that we do a special program called Homework Haven. And what that is that after school, in a lot of the community centers that are located either in social housing, boys and girls clubs, YMCAs, they come and they do their homework. And when they do their homework, we offer them a nutritious meal or a snack so that homework gets done, and they also have healthy food to go along with that. So we do provide financial support for that program as well.
And so this is something that people are going to be amazed by. How many full-time staff do you have at Kids Eat Smart?
Very few. We have a small team at Kids Eat Smart.
And this is run by volunteers.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. And we continue to be humbled and thankful because even through the pandemic, all of our breakfast clubs are still up and running. Even when the pandemic hit, the schools closed and then they reopened. Schools that didn't have volunteers, and still some do not, they're run by the staff of the schools, the principals, the assistant principals, the custodials, the teachers, and volunteers. They are the people who shop, serve, clean up, prepare, and ensure that every child has access to food. Not one person is paid in any of our Kids Eat Smart clubs to do the incredible work that happens and the impact that happens on our children to have food.
So hundreds of volunteers. Do you know what kind
We have thousands and thousands of volunteers.
Yeah. Well, I guess, it's 250 schools or
267 Kids Eat Smart clubs across the province or throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. And I will share with you that, pre-pandemic, 6,200 volunteers. And now that we're getting back to a new normal, we're going to see that happening. People coming back in because we are part of the fabric of the school. It is community supported. So every city, town, and community where people live and there's a school, there's a Kids Eat Smart club.
Incredible. And so volunteers who want to get involved, what do they do? Do they come right to you at Kids Eat Smart, or do they go to the schools?
They can go to kidseatsmart.ca and send us an email, or they can go directly to the Kids Eat Smart club that's in their community.
Incredible. And so in terms of how this program is funded, let's talk about that.
Yeah, 5.4 million meals. So every year, we're truly thankful for the support from the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, our corporate sponsors, partners, charitable organizations and other organizations and funders and individuals. But our team, we're responsible to help raise that money.
Okay.
So we have to reach out to everyone across the country and across the province to help us do that.
And so what are some of the ways that people can donate or contribute?
They can donate online, they can host an event, and of course now we, as Kids Eat Smart, we're up for a $100,000 donation.
Yes.
We've been chosen as one of the 12 finalists in Canada to win this $100,000 gift, and that's 100,000 breakfasts. So for everybody watching and listening, it's as easy as going to Kids Eat Smart and clicking vote, and that can help us receive a $100,000 donation.
And so that's across the country?
Yes, it's a actual philanthropic contest.
Okay.
And it is a voting contest. So you have to go online, vote for Kids Eat Smart, and place your vote, and then you can share it with your family, friends, everybody who you work with, all your social media community, because we're familiar with the voting concept.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. You know, Newfoundland and Labrador, we might not have the population base, but, you know, we've certainly shown that we can win those vote type initiatives, so
we can. So for anyone listening and watching, you know, go to kidseatsmart.ca, press vote, and then of course share that. As I said, share it with your family, your friends, everybody you work with. Go to your social media and share it. If we get the most votes in Atlantic Canada, the children of Newfoundland and Labrador, they are the ones who receive that gift.
$100,000 is 100,000 meals.
It is. It
Amazing.
is. It is. So as a charity and a foundation, when our goal is to continue, I guess, continually to help finance and fund these 267 Kids Eat Smart clubs, that is a truly impactful gift and one that we need at this time.
And of course, you know, it's been challenging with COVID. You know, normally, you know, I love to attend the gala that you hold each year. And so, you know, it's even more important than ever to contribute to Kids Eat Smart, because some of those regular fundraising initiatives are much more challenging to have now.
It is. And I think the days of having those big events and people coming together, you know, they're not happening right now. And as we always say, $1 is a breakfast. So for people who want to give a $10 donation, that's 10 breakfasts. $20 is a breakfast for a child for a month. And any company and organization that would like to support, they can do that as well. But today, if people are sitting there going, how can we help? Go to kidseatsmart.ca, press vote. It's that easy, and share it, and that could be $100,000. And just think about that.
And for companies now thinking, you know, they want to make special donations during Christmas, you know, where can they donate, can they contribute? You know, certainly Kids Eat Smart is an extraordinary opportunity to give back to the community.
It is. We always say children have to come to school. They have to come to school. And we want to ensure that every child and youth who comes to school has access to food at no cost. And that's what our team are going to continue to do, and continue to reach out to everyone to support us to do that.
Thank you so much to you, Celina, and to everyone at Kids Eat Smart. Of course, you know, it's certainly an organization that I deeply value, and I hope that people at home will check out Kids Eat Smart, vote for that $100,000 initiative, and of course also take opportunities to donate themselves.
And thank you, Lynn, for always and your continued support. We truly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after these messages.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
Up next, one of my favorite Great Big Sea songs, Ordinary Day, but this time sung by Shallaway, along with Alan Doyle.
I've got a smile on my face and I've got four walls around me. I've got the sun in the sky and all the waters around me. Oh, you know,
beautiful life, there's always some sorrow. It's a double-edged knife, but there's always tomorrow. Oh, you know, it's up to you now if you see both swim. Just keep the faith that your ship will come in. It's not so bad. And I say, well, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you just got to say it's all right.
Well, wasn't that fantastic? Certainly wasn't an ordinary day around here. Thank you to all of our guests. And of course, don't forget to go to kidseatsmart.ca to support children's breakfast programs throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. Join us next time on Out of the Fog.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media. If you have a comment about this